Now I'm your favorite rock boy, black boy, school of hard knock boy, 360-degree, man I'm such a hot boy, D-boy, B-boy, you're 313 boy, no decoy, soldier of fortune, I seek and destroy, deploy, street noise that move your feet boy, nobody iller than boy, from Hanoi to Illinois, endless noise, power to pump up through your bins boys, the envoy, I keep this moving like this a convoy.
See I'm the truth, it's apparent and I flare it. I dare you to stare because I'm in my truck there again.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 555 of the Nacho Avg podcast. We are live here from Metro Detroit on the infamous June 9th, 2021. Thank you for everybody for joining me today. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic week. I know I am. What's up, buddy? This week has just been hellacious. And I'm not saying hellacious as in like hard, but this heat, I don't know how it's working out for everybody else, but here we've been in the 90s every single day. And being in a classroom where there is no airflow, no air conditioning, and it feels like the temperatures are reaching almost to 100. And I'm basically just sitting there in it seems like a Vietnamese sweatshop. I am literally dying every day. Like I immediately got home, stripped down, jumped in the shower, and it wasn't even like an enjoyable, warm, shower. It was one of those, hey fella, showers where it's like, Ace Ventura after he found out Einhorn and Finkel were the same person, and like it's just freezing cold, trying to get the nastiness every day, Rich, every day. Yeah, Vela, but you're always like outside, feet up by the pool. Like I would love it too. But being in a stanky, hotter than fucking the devil's taint classroom, it is almost unbearable. But that's like been the biggest part of the week. Like it's just been day after day, just been sweaty. Call me Sweaty Betty though. That's my name. Yeah, Vela, I think you've got bigger balls than me though. If to be technical, I think you've got the biggest set of huevos on a Canadian that I've ever met. You have huge marbles. But yeah, that is what's going on. What's up, Red? Yes, are your Islanders playing tonight? Please tell me you're not skipping your game to watch this ugly mug, because I feel specifically special. Hey, Christina, hope you're doing well. So it's in the bag. It's in the bag then. If it's 3-1 right now, it's in the bag, baby. Yeah, so that's what's been going on with me. Just unbearably hot, and to a point that so you're telling me I'm on your lap? Ooh. I've been waiting for this moment. Or in the words of Kelly Clarkson, moment like this, some people wait a lifetime. For that one special kiss, maybe. Christian, do not judge my singing. There are people who wait a lifetime for things like that. But you know what? I may not have to wait much longer. I only have to wait about, I got the pipes on me. I've only got about, say about 15 days, 2 hours and 53 minutes left until that might be a reality. But who's counting? I mean, who needs specifics like that? Not me. But if you guys didn't know, today's a very special holiday. Does anybody have any idea what June 9th symbolizes. It is a very special holiday. I mean, there are some people that probably get to celebrate more than most. There are some that probably don't get to celebrate at all or celebrate on their own or with any man, woman, or thing out there. 6-9. You are in the right direction, my friend. If you are unaware, today is National Sex Day, June 9th, the day in which couples, gay, straight, whatever it may be, celebrate by having sex. And lots of it. The reason National Sex Day is June 9th is because 69 closely resembles the popular sex position 69. Honey, today is National Sex Day. Let's fuck. So, I don't know if anybody else got to celebrate. Me and Rosie Palm and her 5 single sisters a little bit before the show. You know, she never says no. What got me to thinking, though, what are some of those just off-the-wall, crazy sex positions that people think of or you've heard of but have never even attempted? Or, oh no, you better stay for this. You keep your ass right there on the couch. It's not your bedtime there, Bella. That you've never attempted, that you wouldn't even ask to attempt. Or maybe you have, and it's just been one of those like, holy shit, this is happening moments. What are some positions or sexual terms that you may have heard of? Or because I've got about 16 of them. 16 of them that are kind of interesting. But we may even have more. We may have less. Who knows? I used to have a whole entire book, and I can't find it. I was looking for it before the show, but I can't. But they have things like the Philly fake out, as, you know, Rich put it. Oh, no, that was your response to the celebration. Is that like your fake out move? Like, you know, the water boy, he's faking. The Houdini. Yes, the Houdini. Yes, that's another good one. Very close to the Philly fake out, though. But here's one that I looked up, and it's on a website called modernman.com. And number 1 on this list is Tiger Style. And I'd never heard of Tiger Style before, but apparently doing a Tiger Style is a spiced up form of doggy style, a position where the man, or the tiger, we guess, stands behind the woman with his feet on the floor. The woman poses on all four on the bed with her knees close to the edge of the bed. I don't really know what the difference is. After I read it, I was like, well, that's just pretty much doggy style. I mean, is it the fact that he's not on the bed? I was kind of a little lackluster. Here's another one. The Pubes Peep Show. Apparently it's the penetration that you have during phenomenal sex because there's no pubic hair. Some of these names weren't that exciting to what I was reading. You know, saying hi to the brown eye, making sure you take a knee, the Swiss ball blitz, the back breaking boner, the boa constrictor, sliding into home. I don't know. Nothing beats a good old fashioned Cleveland steamer, though, or a Blumpkin. I mean, we all do know what a Blumpkin is, right? That's almost like the holy grail, but it's a holy grail that you gotta. To me, that's something you do with somebody that you don't ever want to see again. That you think about, like, oh, this would be fun. But then you realize what you're doing, and it's just like, you're dirty. You're dirty. But I can't believe it's real. Yeah. And the weird part is when people offer it to you. Like, I don't know. I'm not into the pee-pee or caca thing. Like, don't get me wrong. I like to take a good dump. But honestly, the last thing I'm thinking about is getting a blowy while I'm taking a dump. Like, would it be better? I don't know. It's one of those things where it's just, I don't even know if a German geneticist could like think of and combine those things together in a lab, in a lair, like 450 miles below sea level. Like, I don't think that it would work. It doesn't mix well with me. It's almost like something that doesn't mix well that apparently is supposed to be amazing is this French's mustard and watermelon. Has anybody tried this French's mustard and watermelon trend that's going on around TikTok? I'm willing to try it. I think I have some watermelon upstairs, and I might try it after the show. But I just don't see how yellow mustard would bring out the flavor that is in watermelon. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But there are combinations that go well together. I mean, look at Kanye and Kim. That was a match made in heaven. Or was it? But that is, I hope everybody's going to have a fantastic National Sex Day. Get as much as you can, when you can, and how you can. Enjoy it while it lasts. Remember, men, it is not a race to the finish. Because if you get there first, you may feel like you won, but you didn't. You didn't. Yeah, watermelon does not need to be disrespected like that. I don't get it. I want to try it just to say I tried it, to be like, oh, well, maybe it is good, but I doubt it. So, well, I want to go ahead and get on a little bit of a serious note here. Yeah, I know I went normal nacho route and, talking about Blumpkins and National Sex Day and things like that. But unfortunately, there was a situation that kind of went down here over the weekend. And I'm not really sure I'm like knowing how to handle it if I was in this type of position. So I want to introduce you to somebody. And when I say I want to introduce you to somebody, it's somebody that you're not going to be I'm not going to say I really know said person. But I could see myself getting to know this guy and appreciating who he is, and especially now what he has gone through. I want to introduce you to my little buddy, Kobe. This is Kobe. Kobe is 6 years old. Kobe lives about 35 miles outside of Metro Detroit. Kobe, this past weekend, living outside of 35 miles outside of Metro Detroit in the city of Ypsilanti, was outside with some friends playing. And from what I'm understanding, and what Fox 2 News, which is our local Fox syndicate here in Metro Detroit, is reporting that while Kobe was outside playing with his friends, apparently him and his friends may have left their bicycles on a neighbor's lawn or on his sidewalk, which apparently enraged this neighbor. Enraged this neighbor so far to the point that he felt he needed to cause harm to poor little Kobe. And when I say he needed to cause harm to poor little Kobe, apparently he thought it was a good idea that he pull out a firearm and shoot Kobe, a 6-year-old. Now, this is all alleged. But what I don't understand is why would you resort to violence of that nature against a 6-year-old? A 6-year-old. It's truly sad, Christina, and extremely, extremely enraging for me being a parent of a 3-year-old who's about the size of a 5-year-old, so close in age. So what is being said here? Bella, I agree 1,000%. It is terribly disgusting that this man here, Ryan, and I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, Leguian. I know usually the first N is silent. This is his mugshot. He was picked up and in the custody of Washtenaw County. This is from the sheriff's office. So apparently what's happening was he was pissed that Kobe and a friend had left their bikes in front of his home on their sidewalk. Lenoan. Thank you, Gavella. Thank you. And then the boy's father, apparently what had happened was they left the bikes out on there. He became enraged. Apparently exited the house. Apparently, from what I'm understanding, tried to cause harm to the child before going for a firearm and shooting him. But I have video that I want to share with you guys, and it may be a little graphic, and I do apologize, but it's from the Ring doorbell of the neighbor's house next door to where the incident took place. I'm going to go ahead and play it for you. Let me know what you think may have taken place. So I'm going to go ahead and play that here. And here we go. In 3, 2, 1. So with this video, you can't really see direct video evidence of this person alleged, who, again, it's alleged that he shot this child. It's super unfortunate. And again, it enrages me to think that somebody would do that to a 6-year-old. Personally, if I were this parent, which is Mr. Arnold Daniel, who is the parent of Kobe, and if Mr. Lenoan did shoot my child, I wouldn't have needed police for him. They would have needed him for me. That's not a threat. That is 1,000% promise. And what I don't understand is, again, why would you resort to something like that against a child, a defenseless child, a 6-year-old child? So, again, as you can see from the video, the kids were understandably panicked and they fled from where they were being shot at. You can hear the gunshots. You can hear Kobe wailing, another kid exclaiming that Kobe got shot. Kobe's father said the bullet went through his son's arm, completely clean shot. But the doctors told him that it had been an inch in either direction. It would have likely killed that child. I can't fathom what would be going through my head once I heard that you almost killed my child, a 6-year-old. Yes, I've repeated it 100 times so far in the 20 minutes that we've been on the air. A 6-year-old, man. Like, what the fuck? You can't be fucking serious. So you can't defend yourself against a 6-year-old? That you need to shoot them? So he was charged with assault with intent to murder. That's guaranteed, which I hope he gets convicted of, which is a guaranteed, which honestly, I hate to say it. An at-whim like that is a guaranteed life. If they drop it to intent to do bodily harm, he'll only get 18 years, and which is unfortunate. But to me, because you were doing it against a child, that should be an automatic life sentence. That's just my opinion. I'm entitled to it. If anybody else has an issue, you can hit me at my DMs. But what really blows my mind about this entire situation is that apparently the judge didn't think that he was dangerous enough to grant the $100,000 bond that the prosecutor was asking for. He got out on a $10,000 bond. $10,000 for allegedly shooting a 6-year-old. Because why? His bike was on your sidewalk. You don't even own the fucking sidewalk. The city, the county owns the sidewalk, asshole. Like, seriously? You own up until that edge. If it was on your lawn, I still wouldn't justify shooting at a fucking 6-year-old. I've made jokes for years that I can't wait to be that old man on the fucking block and yell at kids for being on my lawn. Never would I ever fucking shoot at them. A fucking 6-year-old, man. Like, how are you going to shoot at a 6-year-old? So the parent, Mr. Daniel, allowed his child, Kobe, to interview with the news station Fox 2 here in Detroit. And Kobe remarked, he tried hitting me with a sledgehammer, but that wasn't going to work because I'm too fast. Then he got a gun and boom, he shot me right here. And as you can see from the video, like I said, the kids were freaking out. I would be freaked out. I'd be freaked out right now. Shit. 2 weeks ago, I was freaking out because my son fucking smashed his finger on a fucking patio block. Now you're fucking shooting bullets at my kid? Like, and my thing is a 6-year-old doesn't have the mental capacity to lie about something like that without it actually having taken place. That, again, that's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. Nobody has to agree. But I know people who have younger children. Their automatic instant inclination is to tell the truth. They don't know anything else. They don't understand anything else. And at 6 years old, and what it looked like, a bunch of kids just playing in the street, being fucking kids, not being the degenerates that we're having to fucking deal with that are fucking stuck behind a goddamn screen, playing Fortnite all hours of the day, not doing a fucking thing with their lives, sitting there barely going to school and expecting to get a fucking free pass. These were being fucking kids playing outside. There's an old saying that, Back in the day, if you were outside and you seen a pile of bikes outside of somebody's house, that's where you knew where the shit was going on at, because guess what? That's where everybody was. Everybody rode their bike that way, that place, that way, to have a good time, to hang out, to play, to be fucking kids. And you're going to go ahead and sit there and fire a fucking gun at a 6-year-old, bro, you're a piece of shit. And as, you know, Red said right here, piece of shit, I hope he gets what comes to him in jail. And here's the deal. If he is guilty, which from what I'm understanding, it looks like, again, we don't have any solid evidence that it was him pulling the trigger. But again, why would a 6-year-old lie about this? Why would a 6-year-old come up and fathom? Besides, you've got multiple witnesses in those children. And I can guarantee none of them have the mental capacity to come up with the same fucking story unless it actually happened. That's what it's going to come down to. Because let's be honest. How many people sit here and try and fucking lie to the cops all the time and they can't keep their fucking story straight and they're adults? All the fucking time. So I'm going to tell you right now, may God have mercy on this man's soul, because whatever he may get, I'm sure he's going to get tenfold inside once people find out why he's in there and what he did to be in there. Other inmates don't fucking play around, especially when it comes to women and children. They do not fucking play around. So, may God have mercy on this man's soul, because he's fucked. And he's a piece of shit. Hands down. I got nothing else against him. I would have fucking pummeled him. I don't know. I would have had that situation, that Dom Toretto where, I just continued to swing and swing until I couldn't lift my arm anymore. He would have needed a fucking entire artillery, a gambit of fucking guns to keep me from getting my hands on him. So I praise the father of this child for not just catching a charge himself. It's one of those situations, like I'll admit there's times where I may be possibly overprotective over my kid. Don't get me wrong. I'll be the first to crack my kid on the ass if I absolutely have to. No, it's not child abuse. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. And I'm not saying I'm not going to beat the hell out of my child. I'm going to spank my child if I have to. But I'll never shoot him. I'm not going to shoot somebody else's kid. So the only thing I can say for this guy is that they need to put him through a psych eval, first and foremost, and to find out whether he is able to stand some sort of trial, because he's fucking sick in the head. Thinking that it is okay to shoot a child, and more specifically, this decent looking kid. He honestly hasn't even began to live his life. And you're going to sit here and try and take his life away from him because his fucking bicycle was on the sidewalk in front of your house. You, sir, are a piece of shit. Those are my thoughts on that. So, being a parent, we do lots of shit for our kids. Some of us have to, restrain ourselves. Some of us we go above and beyond for some of our kids. And we're very protective over our children. And like I said, Mr. Arnold Daniel here, the father of Kobe, showed great restraint by not catching a case himself. And as you can see, security, you never know what's going on around you, right? Well, being a parent, we want our kids to be safe. But at what cost are you willing to go through to make sure your child is safe? Now, I have another friend I want you to meet. Well, I don't really want to say friend. Let's be honest. I I think this one might be a little cuckoo for me. But meet, I believe it's Cassie Garcia. Cassie Garcia resides in El Paso, Texas. I just want to say Cassie has no accent from what I can tell. But Cassie's been in the news as of late. Cassie's been making her rounds around the national news right now. Cassie's been making her rounds around the national news because she took it upon herself to dress and impersonate her 13-year-old daughter and attend school in her place with the hopes of proving that there are issues within her child's school security. So, she has her own YouTube channel. She has 5 videos as of yesterday, 3 of which are the act itself, her rebuttal for why she did the act, and a 3rd video of the day that the police came to arrest her for criminal trespassing. So, this mom, 30 years old, she was arrested and charged with criminal trespass, tampering with government records, and after she deliberately pretended to be her middle school daughter for a day to prove the school has safety breaches. So, long story short, her daughter goes to an El Paso middle school. This middle school happens to be part of the San Elizario Independent School District in El Paso, Texas. Issue 1, the school not realizing the difference between a 13-year-old and an adult. Rich, let me get to that point. So, old Nacho did a little bit of research. Unfortunately, I did reach out for comment to the school. The school specifically was Ann M. Garcia Enriquez Middle School. Again, as part of the San Elizario Independent School District. Unfortunately, when I called, my dumbass called after they were closed, so that's why they couldn't give me a comment. Okay. Now, Rich, don't get me wrong. Let me go ahead and take down so you guys don't see me just talking to a picture. Long story short, Rick, back to what you were saying. How does no one notice? Well, let me go ahead and show you how she dressed up. Hey, Tony, how are you? So let me go ahead and get to the... Here is what she dressed up as. This is what she wore. Again, being face-to-face right now in the middle of a pandemic, she has to wear a mask. She has to wear a mask. Okay? But she looks like a normal middle schooler, right? She's 4'11", according to the information that was retrieved by the Washington Post when she was locked up, that she was 4'11". Okay? That's definitely on much on the shorter side, especially for myself, who is 6'4". Okay? Again, she had a mask. Again, if I were you guys, after the show, go check out the video. It's quite enticing. You know, here's an image of her eating lunch. So her biggest concern after watching the video was that it was always, hey, put your phone away. Hey, put your phone away. That she was never a person. So here's my deal with this entire situation. Here is a photo. Now, all these photos that I've retrieved are from her YouTube, okay? This is her with her daughter. They look nothing alike. So apparently, Miss Garcia, from watching the video, she dyed her hair. She put on spray tanner to match her daughter's skin complexion, match her daughter's hair. She'd straightened her hair. She went throughout the day. She checked in. Immediately, apparently, and this was Rich. You stole the words right out of my mouth, and I was going to get to this point when I got to it. But the only time a 30-year-old was able to make their way through elementary and middle school and high school was Billy Madison. So long story short, she did that. She took down and memorized her daughter's ID number, because apparently what they have to do is when they get to the main doors, they have to sign in that they are present, so in turn they can make their way through it. While watching the video, you can hear her walk by a male, apparently it was a staff member, who she claimed was the principal. All right. So one fun fact about all this information that's going on. So El Paso, Texas, right? Everything is bigger in Texas, right? Texas high school football is its own league. But this entire school district is made up of 3 elementary schools, 1 middle school, and a high school. So right there, now this is a security breach that I believe she proved, is that these students or these teachers don't know their students. And I'm going to get to this point here in a minute because it's becoming difficult for me at my school. And for one reason. She made her way in. She signed in. She talked to a couple people. She didn't know exactly where her daughter's first class was. Apparently, she approached a staff member, and they guided her in the right direction. Okay. She made it to that class. Her next class was math. I don't know what the third class was, but then apparently she went to lunch. In that image that I showed you where she was eating lunch, she kind of tucked herself into the corner and ate lunch by herself, making remarks to the camera. Apparently, she continued to make her way through the rest of the day, where to a point she got to her final class, and the teacher said, "Hey, Julie," which is the daughter's name, "can you stay after class for me?" And she said, "Well, sure, not a problem." She stayed after class. The teacher approached her and said, "You're not Julie." And at that point, she knew the gig was up, took her mask off, said, "No, I'm Julie's mom," and admitted to that. Apparently, throughout the entire day, while watching the video, she kept saying she was scared, she was going to get caught, this, that, and the other. Well, no shit. What did you think you were going to do? Not get caught? Like, what I don't understand, though, is halfway through the video, if you're watching it, she starts talking to fellow students. And they know that she's not Julie. She confirms to them that she's not Julie. And then once you confirmed that fact to those other students that you were not your daughter, trust me, they weren't going to keep their fucking mouths shut. These kids dry snitch so quick on themselves, and they don't owe you shit. I'm sure they went and told somebody, and I'm sure that teacher found out, and that's why you got caught. But the one thing that I caught that I really didn't understand was when she sat there and in her apology or reasoning video that she had posted was the reason that she did this wasn't to ruffle feathers. First and foremost, bitch, listen here. I'm sorry. I called you a bitch, but I don't understand where the fuck you think this wasn't going to ruffle feathers at all. You did this to ruffle the feathers of your school district and your daughter's school about their security situations. How did you not think that the school's name wasn't going to come to the forefront? It took me a minuscule Google search to figure out what school your daughter went to. It took me less than 2 seconds to figure this out. Like, how ignorant are you? that you didn't think this was going to bring some sort of inappropriate bad light to you or and your daughter. Like, apology, I'm sorry for my language, but like this is just absolutely ridiculous and like absurd. Like, it's common sense that you did you not think this was going to cause issues? Oh, I just wanted to prove a point. You did prove a point. And you know what? Apparently the school's going to start revamping their security measures. But you could have done it differently. You could have joined the fucking PTA. But now, if my child was going there, I'm sorry, you're now labeled that crazy ass parent that my kid's not going to be allowed to hang out with your kid now because you like to start shit. I want my child to be safe, but now I have to worry about the parents too. She's like, oh, this could have been prevented, da 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 da, so on and so forth. Yeah, you could have kept your ass at home and found a different way to do it. You could have still infiltrated the school. You could have checked with the principal. You could have went to the superintendent and had this as a setup. Like the show, what is it, 60 Days In, right? You could have set it up and nobody else would have known except for one specific party, and then you would have kept your ass out of trouble. And now you got a record. Mind you, the reason they went and picked her up because apparently she had an outstanding traffic warrant from 2017. So in turn, she already had things, Rich. Now, don't get me wrong. Since Columbine in 1999, more than 248,000 children at 260 schools have experienced some sort of gun violence. And that shouldn't have to take place. But the fact of the matter is that you sitting there and saying that, oh, my intention wasn't to ruffle feathers. No, that was your plain intention, was to ruffle feathers. And the fact of the matter is you look nothing like your daughter. Your daughter looks very tall and lengthy. Tony, I don't know how you would have been able to handle that. Especially because I know you have a lot of small children, and especially when that went down, I could only imagine what was going through your head. Garcia states that the gun violence or the threat of gun violence motivated her to see if she could sneak into the school. So what I'm reading here is that you know of apparent violence that's to take place, but you're not reporting it. You're taking it into your own hands. Who the fuck are you? Are you Batman? You don't look like the Caped Crusader. You don't look like Batgirl. I don't get it. That's not something you take into your own hands. And the fact of the matter is, and I hate to put it this way, if somebody wants to do something, they're going to do it. They're going to do anything and everything in their power to get the job done or at least get it started. They're not going to sneak the guns in, especially, and she's like, oh, my school needs metal detectors. Yep, they probably do. But a metal detector doesn't detect a plastic box cutter that you can sneak into a school if you really wanted to. These kids especially the ones who are in their own world and having issues and are mainly focused on, all they have is time. They act, and their mentality, I hate to put it this way, are almost of like inmates. All they have is time. They sit, they think, they plot, they plan, they watch. My classroom myself is set up in a way that no kids can come up behind me because as much as I love most of my kids, I don't fucking trust them. But again, if one of them wanted to do something, whether it be stab me or whatever, they can grab the scissors that are on my fucking desk if they absolutely wanted to and try it. So if somebody wanted to, I hate to put it this way, wanted to start a situation or, heaven forbid, resort to gun violence at the school, nothing's going to stop them. They're going to walk straight up to that main door, blow that person away, and get to work. Yeah, I sound like I may have thought about some of this shit in my past. No, I haven't. It's just fucking common sense. These kids, they have time. They don't have to put much effort into it because a lot of these kids, they can just find whatever the fuck they want, where they want it. These kids are so tech savvy, they probably can make their own shit to cause havoc. And that's what's sad. You know, again, I understand why she did it as a parent because, again, we all want our children to be safe. We want the best for our children. We don't want anything to happen to our children. You know, but you picked a bright ass. Here's the thing is, if we weren't in the middle of the pandemic and you didn't, and we all can tell you don't really resemble your child in facial features, what makes you think you would have been able to get away with it? Because now that's when I'm pretty sure that the teachers would have known you don't look like Julie. Now don't get me wrong. Right now, we are dealing with a lot of standardized testing here in Michigan. Okay. And to a point that the kids have to report to the school to take the tests. There are children that are coming into my building that I have never seen before in my life because they've been virtual this entire time or have been skipping school this entire time. So that when they come into my school, I'm literally taking attendance like it's the first day of school, as in, hey, what's your name? Hey, what's your last name? Hey, you know, where have you been? Are you okay? X, Y, and Z. When we have already gone through, as of tomorrow, my school district has 10 full days left. And an average school year is 180 days. At least it is in my district. So we've gone through 170 days of school. And I'm just now seeing your face for the first time. And then I'll tell you right now, most of these kids that I've had in my class face to face, I don't know what they look like. I don't know what they look like because you want to know why? This is all I see. This is all I see. From the bridge of the nose up. Bridge of the nose up. That's all that I see. And I'll tell you what. I go to lunch. I see a couple of these kids take their masks off to eat. First off, please put the mask back on because you ugly. But on a serious note, there was an instance where I was leaving school one day and a kid turned and waved to me. I didn't know who it was. Literally the next day, that student came to me and said, hey, Mr. Nacho, how come you didn't wave back to me yesterday? Are you mad at me? And honest to Jesus, I said, dude, I didn't even know it was you. I've never seen you without your mask on. And to tell a kid that, like, I've only seen you enough to know that what you look like from here up. How is that possible, Tony, that your kids don't get to eat lunch? Like, do they have to go home to eat their lunch or they just get out early then? Because that's absolutely crazy or asinine. See, like our kids, they have to be 6 feet apart. Like, and the funny part is the CDC states that they only have to be 3 feet apart now. Well, why can't we move them to be 3 feet apart? It's absolutely ridiculous. Again, I know this was a serious situation, but something's got to give sooner or later. Something literally has to give sooner or later. I don't know what else to do on my end, but I feel that these teachers and these staff has failed because now we're looking at, like I said, there was only 3 elementary schools that culminate into 1 middle school that culminate into 1 high school. You mean to tell me you don't know your student body? You don't know what most of your kids look like these days? Specifically, like I tell you, I can tell who I know and who I don't know. In the first second that I see somebody that I don't know, I'm asking 100 questions. Who are you? Like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Kindergarten Cop. Who is your daddy and what does he do? Who is your daddy and what does he do? I'm asking every question in the book. Like, what's your social security number? What's your parents' name? Where do you live? What's your name? What's your last name? I had 2 kids come in the other day that could pass for identical twins. And a third one that you didn't think was related. And the 2 that didn't look like had the same name. And the one who looked like the twin had the complete opposite name. I was just mind blown. Like, y'all really are, you could pass for twins. But y'all ain't related. It don't make no damn sense to me. But then I got these kids that come on a regular basis. And then here's like another issue that we have in our district where these kids think they can flip flop. Oh, I'll be virtual one day. Oh, I'll come face to face the next. No, it don't work like that. There's a lot of things going on our plates right now, especially as teachers, and a lot of with these kids and their educations. The last thing we need now is to worry about having these parents coming and pulling shady moves like this in order to, try and prove a point. My thing is there was a much better way that you could do something of this nature to prove a point, to get your point across. Join the PTA, start a movement, start a parental group. You don't have to sit there and jeopardize the safety and well-being of your child as well as other children to prove a point. Because you're lucky you made it to the end of the day and they didn't call the cops on you halfway through the school day. You're lucky that nothing extravagant didn't happen while you were there that you could then be held accountable for. You're lucky all you got was trespassing charges and, messing with government documents. Like, you don't realize how lucky you got. Again, I understand why you did it, but there was a much better way you could have did that. Because, again, now, I'm sorry, you've now just placed the label on your own child, which is going to give her an issue while she continues through high school. And it's unfortunate. I mean, again, we want our children to be safe, but there's ways to go about it. No, I know I'm not saying the world's perfect. I'm not saying that, there was a end all be all way that she should have done it. But, I agree with your stance that, yeah, there's way too many mass shootings. But a metal detector is not just going to stop it. Besides, the fact of the matter is I hate to say it, if you really wanted to prove a point, you should have brought in a weapon with you. No, we don't want you to do that literally, but that's my point is like you making your way through the school, like nobody noticing you. Yeah, you made your point, but there was a better way to do it. So, I hope you proved your point. I hope these schools improve their security measures. I'll tell you what, myself, if I see somebody that I don't know whether they got a placard on or not, I'm asking them 100 questions. Again, that's just me because I want to go home the same way I came in. I want all my kids to go home the same way that they came in, safe, without an issue. Nacho loves the kids. Just saying. I love them kids. But so I appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with me tonight. It's remember, guys, please share the show. Share it to your friends, your family, anybody who has a YouTube. Get them to subscribe. As soon as we hit 100 subscribers, we're going to go ahead and do a giveaway. I still got the Google Home waiting, brand new in the box. We are past the 30 mark, so we are a third of the way there. Sorry, 33% of the way there to 100 subscribers. And that's what's crazy. Like, do I have to have a crazy viral video? Tony, no need to apologize whatsoever. I just appreciate that you're here. I mean, I know there's some people that say they want to watch, but they can't catch it until the replay. Hey, you know what? I still appreciate everybody who does give me a view. But go ahead and, again, share it with everybody. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that little bell button. You'll get the notifications. But, like, that's another thing. This woman had 2 random videos before she posted this video. And she didn't know it was going to go viral. No, you never know what's going to go viral. I had a video about Kentucky Fried Chicken and a terrible dad joke that I made that got 2 million views in a week. It got over 1 million views in 24 hours. I've had another video, I say it's about semi-viral because it's got over 500,000 views it had in 24 hours, where it's a joke of a woman hitting herself in the crotch with the claw of a hammer. Like, you never know what's going to go viral. But that's the thing. And now she's got 5,000 subscribers. I'm very blessed for my 30 plus. I can't wait to have more. I'm very excited to and that's another thing is, you know, the idea, there's an old saying that there's a sign there for a reason. Signs are put in place because of things that have taken place to prevent things from the future of happening. So there's going to be other parents that are going to try and do this shit across America. I can guarantee it. That there are going to be more parents that are going to try and do this shit across America. It's the almost, I want to say, not the Me Too movement, but it's the, hey, look at me. Let me see what more I can get away with at my child's school, because you know some dumbass is going to try and push the limits. You know there's going to be some dumbass who's going to bring a weapon to try and prove a point. It's going to be somebody who's going to jeopardize and I thank you for your service. I thank you for your service. Because I'll tell you what, there's definitely not enough parental involvement in a lot of these schools. So for you doing something like that, that is more than what I can ask for, and I appreciate you. And I thank you greatly. So, but again, good people, thank you for joining me. This has been the Nacho Avg Podcast, episode 5. If you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on either TikTok or Instagram at that.nacho, it would be greatly appreciated. Remember, go ahead and share the show. Have your friends, your family, even your local Starbucks barista subscribe. It would be wonderful to have more people in here. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to having some guests here in the near future. Maybe a game night, a trivia night coming up in the very, very near future. But again, I wish you all well. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay blessed, and stay out of trouble. We'll see you guys next week. Same place, same time. Same web URL, the Nacho Avg Podcast. Peace.